Hi everyone, my name is Christina Blach Petersen and I'm the co-founder and CEO of LYS Technologies. And I'm here today to present to you a bit about what we do at LYS. And I'll just start sharing my screen. The core mission of LYS is to help people live healthier with light. And I'll just briefly walk through what I will talk to you about today. Firstly, I want to talk to you about the problem that we're tackling. Secondly, the solution that we're proposing, the product that we developed, and the user experience of our product and the service. And then finally, on the lesson learned, I would like to talk to you a bit about a case study we've done on lockdown and how lockdown have impacted people's light intake. Perfect. So to talk to you about the problem, just as you know, just as food, air, and water, light is a vital source to health, a natural one too, and people need it every day throughout the day. At LYS, we look beyond the lifespan of a light bulb, the aesthetics of a lamp, the technology of a lighting control. Instead, we really focus on what we think should come first, people, and how to help people live healthier with light. So today, we spend more than 90% of our time indoors in artificial and unhealthy environments. The problem related to this has been estimated to be more than £38 billion as a cost to the UK economy each year, and that number is $411 billion in the US. Scientific research now shows that the light we receive through our eyes throughout the day has detrimental effects on our health, and on the short term, it leads to things like poor sleep, low energy levels, and poor performance at work. On the long term, we see that poor light exposure can lead to things like lifestyle illnesses and chronic diseases. So we looked at our data, and I just wanted to share this with you. Today, we're completely living like modern cave people. At LYS, we look at people's light intake before using the service, and we saw that users on average get around 30 minutes of natural light per day. By using our service, we can increase that after 2 weeks to 56 minutes, but it's still crazy to think that we don't even get 1 hour of natural light per day on average. So what can we do about this? At LYS, we bridge the gap between personal health and lighting, and there's 3 key steps in our mission. The first is to create awareness around light's impact on personal health and well-being in real time. We created this light sensing wearable. We call it the LYS button. You clip it onto your everyday outfits, and it connects to a mobile app. Through the mobile app, people can see in real time how the light in their environments are affecting them in real time. The next step in our mission is to change behavior for positive outcomes. And we created an in-app library of programs that allows users to collect light intake and compare it with their sleep and energy levels. And it's all built on behavior change, and it's really helping people to have positive outcomes in sleep, energy levels, cognitive performance, and so on. Finally, the third step in our mission is to integrate and improve indoor lighting in a way that is personalized to the individual and that it's healthier. And when we talk about indoor light, we think about anything from light emitted from your screens, from the light in your office, in your home, in the cockpit of your car, in the train, etc. So when we look at the lighting industry overall, we're now experiencing a slow growth, less than 5% a year. And there's a problem around the LEDs that it lasts up to 25 times longer as the traditional light bulb, which is obviously not a problem in terms of energy efficiency, but it's a challenge in terms of the traditional business model of selling light bulbs. So we're looking for new ways of adding value. Exposure from. When looking at the current lighting solutions that lighting manufacturers call human-centric, there are still one-size-fits-all solutions. And that's where LYS come in with our machine learning algorithm and offers the first truly human-centric solution that adjusts to users in real time. And also, when looking at the smart lighting systems that currently exist, they're typically too complex for users. Through LYS App, we speak to users' needs, and we offer a very simple and intuitive experience, which is just on-off. For example, we had a friend from the lighting industry. He sent us this picture of a note that a secretary had put up on the wall of an office where they just installed smart lighting. And basically there were 7 points on that note saying, you know, first you have to log onto this website, then you have to log in. This is the login details. Remember not to say, remember me, because then other people can't log in. And it was just so complex. And actually we have the technology here to make it simple and intuitive for users. So to talk a bit more about our product, the LYS App, it offers a home screen where we can personalize content to the user. We have a library of light guide programs, we call them. They're short-term, high-value programs. This home screen also offers us the opportunity of send nudges and recommendations to the user based on their goal keeping and their light intake and how well they're doing overall. To talk a bit more about the programs, it's really about creating a healthy routine, and it's very simple. To start a program, users clip the sensor onto their everyday outfits for the duration of the program. They start in that program in the app, and they track light, sleep quality, and energy levels. And then by the end of each week, they receive a personalized report by email. Finally, they can also connect to Bluetooth-enabled lights, and the LYS app directly speaks to the lamp if they detect anything. Currently, we integrate with Philips Hue, and it can make the appropriate changes in real time. One really exciting thing that we look at when we profile individuals is chronotype. I don't know if you're familiar with chronotypes, but in the UK, we talk about morning people and night owls. From scientific research, we know that we have between 5 and 7 chronotypes. And basically, we've taken in scientific research, scientific surveys, and translated it into an app format that users can make use of. So additional to gender and age, we look at chronotype. Initially, when people onboard the app, they get information about what chronotype they are, what is their biological chronotype versus the one that they're trying to live their life after, which then give them information about social jet lag. From that, we can create the recipe of what kind of light they need in a way that they can adjust for the social jet lag that they're experiencing. From the chronotype, we can also see optimal time for physical performance, optimal time for cognitive performance, and melatonin onset. Obviously, melatonin is our natural sleep hormone that is produced in the brain. And as soon as that starts, we need to avoid high intensity and blue light. And that will typically start 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. For managers, we have an online wellbeing platform. It's a data-driven tool where you can access aggregated anonymized data. You can see things like how the built environment, how the space, how the lighting is affecting people in the space. And you can compare data across sites, across products, etc. It's a really exciting product, and it just allows us to make decisions more informed based on data. We also partner with leading research institutions across the world. We've been working with many different research institutions on understanding light intake for nurses at hospitals, elderly in care homes, young people in schools, etc. And it's something that we really enjoy and we keep on working with. Just to give you a bit of information on the data we have and how we can create value with it. So currently we own the largest database on human lighting and light intake in the world. Our mission is to create value for people with this data. And of course, we're all determined to do that in an ethical way, in a way that complies with GDPR. Currently we have more than 1 billion distinct data points recorded. That's more than 34 days of data. We have active users in 53 countries. I think the most north is in New Skrit, Alaska, and the most south in New Zealand, Christchurch. But as you can see, mostly in Europe and North America. So just to talk about the user experience. As you know, we offer these short-term high-value programs, and on average, we have an engagement in the app of 88%. And on average, people wear the sensor the bottom 77% of the time correctly, which means that it's not obstructed by a jacket or a scarf, and it's not left in front of a window. We have an accelerometer in the device, so we can see when it's moving, etc. So it's really well worn, which makes it brilliant for academic research. It also shows that end users are getting a lot of value from using the technology. So just to tell you a bit about measurable outcomes on the data. So from our latest data from our participants, we show that the LYS solution offers these kind of improvements just after 2 weeks of using the program. 50% increase in exposure to natural daylight, which then is the main sort of behavior change that then offers things like 17% improvement in sleep and 20% improvement in energy levels. Currently, we are working with many different clients, and we also have been acknowledged and gotten awards. Most recently, we got the LYS Live Award in the connected lighting technology of the year. And now I just want to talk to you a bit about lessons learned. A specific case study we did on lockdown. We thought it was really interesting to uncover some of the side effects of lockdown, and what we can see is that our users are changing behavior. There's been a 14% decrease in time outside, so exposure to natural daylight decrease. So that means that users are getting 14% less daylight during the day during lockdown compared to before lockdown. Furthermore, we're seeing an increase in exposure to harmful blue light at night during lockdown, and that's a 47% increase. It's quite interesting because we're seeing that a lot of people find it hard to switch off at night, and the people find it hard to sort of maintain a healthy sort of routine at home. I'll get back to that later. But one thing that we've seen is that users have drifted more, perhaps to more than natural rhythms. We can see that people before lockdown were more tendency towards early morning lads, on like the more extremes, whereas during lockdown we see more midday doves and night owls. So maybe if people don't have to get up this early, then their natural rhythm would because of work, that they don't have to get up that early. Their natural rhythm will try and get them to get up later and go to bed later. It was interesting to compare this data with a recent study done by Nuffield Health in the UK, where actually the outcome showed that 80% of people feel that working from home has negatively impacting their mental health. They find 1/3 found it hard to balance work life, and they found it hard to separate their home lives with their work lives. And then 27% reported difficulties in switching off at the end of the workday, which fits quite well with our data on seeing that people are getting less light during the day. They might not get out the door because they don't have to go to work, and then they might do some private stuff during the day. That means that they have to work later in the night. And we thought that was quite interesting. And one of the things that we just most recently added to our light diet programs is sleep consistency. It's a feature looking at how consistent people are in their everyday rhythm, in their circadian rhythm. How consistent are they getting up at the same time and go to bed at the same time? How consistent are they in getting out the door and get some daylight during the day and switching off the devices, the screens, the high intensity blue light at night. And the RAND Corporation just went out and said that consistency in sleep-wake cycle is one of the main influencing factors on mental health, which I thought was so interesting. So I think one lesson learned here is that it's just so important to make sure that you have a healthy routine, a consistent routine, and that you get out the door and make the most of natural daylight, even on during these dark days of the year, and of course switching off before bed. Yeah, that's it from me. LYS Technology, everything we do is based on science, powered by people and data, and enabled by technology. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening in today and for having me. please do connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm really eager to sort of continue this conversation on how we can help people live healthier with light. And in the meantime, thank you very much, Sigrid, for having me today.